The making of the movie.
Frank and I started working on this project probably about 3 years ago. Probably took about 4 months to write, and since then we've probably been through 60 revisions. Grew up on the boardwalks of Asbury Park, as did Craig Singer, the director. I've known Chris Williams, our producer, since I was 10 years old, and we always talked about, working on projects together. This is now our 4th production, and hopefully this is going to be our best.
No, I think it's going amazing. I think we've got a great cast.
The cast is really gelling, I think.
With the exception of the script.
Short of the script.
Short of the script.
The only research that I've done is going on these rides when I was a little kid in Asbury Park. I remember getting the crap scared out of me, and I tried to put all of that into the pages. Dark Ride is basically about a group of teenagers on their way to spring break in New Orleans. They decide to make a stop at a yet-to-be-reopened haunted house in Asbury Park, where something horrific had happened 10 years earlier. At the same time, the person who perpetrated the murders 10 years ago has escaped from the institution, and they all converge at the house at the same time.
He thinks he's doing these wonderful things because of the way that people are amused when they're in a dark ride. And then we're actually using a horror movie to make the point that what you see is what you emulate. Smart writing, some smart writing. And I'm not just saying this because the writer's holding the boom mic right now as I'm speaking.
I play a boardwalk worker, and I constantly wipe the frame. That's what I do. I have no lines.
Actors, they face a lot of rejection and stuff, but the reward is really good. If you're a writer or a director or a producer and you hit the heights of your career, it's pretty good, but if you're an actor and you do it, it's as good as it gets on the planet.
Why would they put all these hard days right now?
I don't know. Trying to challenge
Because it's on one part of the set, and because after we're done with this stuff, they're breaking down this part of the set, and then we'll move on to another building.
I don't believe that for a second.
You don't believe that?
That's why you're an
It's
actor.
fucking true. I don't believe it for a second.
I'm Jamie Linden, and I play Kathy.
My name's Jennifer Kelly Tisdale, and I play Liz.
My name's David Rogers. I play Steve.
I play Bill, who is sort of the reject of the group.
In the movie of Dark Ride, I play Jim.
Does he have a last name?
No. And if he did, I do not know it. Does he have a last name? What's Jim's last name?
Jim?
Jim Solowitz.
I'm quite honored to be a part of this ensemble.
We play twins, identical twins, and we are going to private school, and then all of a sudden came here, and I'm kind of a punk girl, and she's a goody-goody, sweet girl.
When you're deformed from birth, you get kind of pigeonholed early on. It's you're a killer, you're a, you're a mutant, you're evil. What about, I'm a humanitarian.
This is my first horror film, and I have to say, while it's challenging, it's extremely draining because you're really at heightened emotions at all times, whether you're crying or whether you're screaming or you're running.
I was attracted to this project because I haven't done a horror film before.
Never done this before. Never done a horror movie either. Yeah, it's our second job.
For me as an actress, the monologue that Craig sort of last minute wrote for me, I'm in the van and I pretty much just go to a level that I didn't know I could. That for an actress, that was definitely the most challenging and rewarding and very, very cool for me to do.
I'd have to say kissing Kathy, but we shot it on the first day. So we really hadn't had enough time to build up a rapport. So if we wanted to shoot that again, that'd be cool.
Making out with Andrea, making out with Andrea, making out with Andrea. And there was that part in the basement where I kissed her, and then there was making out with Andrea. Boobs.
He gets to make out with our dream girl. God, I love being an actor sometimes. And sometimes I hate it, because I just don't get to do it right now.
For me as an actor, I'm finding it way difficult in that it's just very challenging. It's something I'm not used to doing. Sure, I do dramatic things where I have to cry or be upset, but not like this.
It was just really an intense, emotional scene where I was running down the hallway, just crying and scared, and then I find her, and the intensity and the emotional energy that was in the room at that scene when I'm trying to convince her to come with me was just unreal. It was awesome. It was one of those things where I look back and I'm wow, that was really cool. That's why I act.
I haven't been this exciting since I was David Hasselhoff's understudy for a little production of Extremities we did at Pasadena Playhouse.
He lives in the Stark Ride, which is really scary because I'm from Asbury Park, so the rumor, it is kind of like known that there was this haunted house that somebody lived in. So it's not too far from the truth. I didn't know that it took place in my hometown until after I got it, which was really cool. I really like working with Jamie a lot, who's plays Kathy, because we're both from the East Coast. We both grew up really similar in similar environments. So when we get on set, like it's like two peas in a pod and we're kind of just hanging out, and the chemistry of us being friends really isn't fake chemistry because we kind of are friends. Patrick is really challenging because you never know what's going to come out of him. He kind of surprises you, especially when we start doing improv. He says something and you're like, did you really just say that? And it like throws us all off and it makes us work, which is really cool.
You know, I noticed something you do a lot.
What?
With that camera of yours.
What do I do?
You just kind of go right past me.
I do that?
Constantly. Yeah, it's like, oh look, and there's Alex. Oh, and then there you go.
Andrew's so much fun.
You know what? I've never had to be killed before, and it's kind of disturbing to see this much shit happening to me. But it's very cool, and I like it.
David's really quiet, but he's just the best person ever.
It's super live.
It's the line. He's running some lines too.
Hey, does anyone see my stunt double? Holy shit.
No shit, that was in 2
took my
seconds.
underwear.
He changed in 2 seconds.
Alex he's a character. he's just so much like his character. It just comes out of nowhere with him.
I'm like a 4-year-old actor. I'm like no, I'm like Mary Kate and Ashley when they were on Full House. They were pretty hot, yeah, you're right.
In real life, like, she's scared of like roller coasters and scared of like scary stuff. And like, I'm a kind of a daredevil and kind of outgoing and out there and everything. We kind of like chose by ourselves. Yeah. And then they just said choose whatever you think fits you best, and chose us how it is.
The other actors, I have to say, are awesome. I'm having so much fun. I think we have too much fun sometimes, especially when we were doing a lot of the stuff in the van and we were kind of like just stuck in there for hours together.
God, I love when we're all together, doing scenes when it's all of us together as an ensemble. Those usually are the funnest for us.
Sometimes we probably joke off a little too much, and the crew probably gets a little upset because we can kind of be loud and laughing a lot when we should be, you know, getting ready for a take, but it's fun.
What can I say about Craig Singer? Craig's a great guy. I met Craig probably 8 years ago at a screening for his film Animal Room. I don't even consider him a partner. I don't consider him a friend. I consider him my big brother.
I think one of the coolest things about Craig is that before we started shooting, we had a little get-together at his apartment with the whole cast, and it was cool because we all kind of just meshed. It wasn't like you got to work and all of a sudden you had to pretend to be friends with all these people. It was kind of, we all knew each other a little bit, and it gave us a more relaxed environment, like everyone's friends, and it's cool.
He's very visual. I mean, things just come to him, and it can kind of suck for the crew because we can do things that are completely not on the schedule, but he can just walk into a room and have these crazy, amazing ideas, and luckily all us actors are kind of game for it, and we'll just go, and it just, I know it's gonna work for the film in the end.
He's got it specifically in his head as to how it's all gonna come together, which is sort of the only thing that you want from or if you have to have one thing from a director, that's the most crucial thing.
I'm sorry, who?
Craig Singer.
Craig Singer.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. The guy, he's the...
The director,
yeah,
Craig.
Yeah.
Oh, he's the best.
My bad.
He's the best. No, Craig actually has been great. He's rad. The cool thing about Craig is he'll come up to you, and I love that he does this with everyone. I've seen it. He'll, in between takes, he'll come up to you and give you your direction, but he'll whisper it into your ear. There's something nice about that and intimate, so that everyone else doesn't know what he's telling you, and A, it keeps the mystery alive, but B, it's just sort of, that's your direction, and it's nice because it's like your time with your director and his time with his actor, and he separates it very well.
Craig Singer is awesome. He is the reason why I did this movie.
Not ringing a bell.
Not. She's amazing.
You're already in, all right?
Yeah, you already got the part, sweetie.
When you look that good, you're in it.
I love her. Hurts so much.
My favorite horror film. I would probably say the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I used to always, when I was a little girl, and like my dad would take me to Blockbuster on the weekends, I'd always want to rent horror movies, like the old school, like Sleepaway Camp and like Freddy and all. I just loved all those movies. So I'm kind of happy to be making one.
Nightmare on Elm Street is my favorite scary movie of all time. Sort of, yeah.
I don't do good in horror films. My boyfriend always like has to like anticipate something's coming, and he'll cover my eyes because he'll know like I'll have nightmares. So it's kind of weird that I'm in one because I don't know if I'll even be able to watch the whole thing without getting like really scared and having nightmares about it, even though I kind of filmed it.
I like suspense more than just straight out horrific elements. And but then when you get to, in a horror movie, the payoff of the gore and the gruesome, after you've built the suspense, and is it that guy? No, no, no. Is it that guy? No, no. Is it that cat? No, I don't think so. But then eventually when you get to where you're going and it really scares the shit out of you, then everyone's done their job.
Well, some of my influences for this movie are films like Bambi and The Princess Bride, Pinocchio. They're all lovely fare that fit perfect into a film such as this.
I honestly, I swear to God, am like a chick when it comes to this stuff. First of all, I cry in every movie. Every movie. I cried in Harry Potter, all 3 of them.
I'm quite interchangeable, as you can tell by the wig.
And cut! You okay, Dana?
How do you not walk in walls with that?
Well, you were there when I wiped out the other day, weren't you?
This hobby?
So Fred, is there any chance that this head's gonna break?
What didn't happen? It didn't break. The head did not break.
This van is crashing through a breakaway wall.
Yeah.
And on the other side of it will be a stuntman.
Okay.
And the idea is that this van hits him and sends him flying through a window and into the wall on the other end. So obviously it can't really hit him, so we're going to stop short. We have the van cabled off. Her excellent driving will also keep it from going any further than it has to. And then Chris will have to act like he's being hit, and then effects will have to make sure that they pull him back at the right time, because if their timing isn't good either, then it won't look like he's getting hit. So it's a combination of everybody's timing.
Excellent timing. Most excellent timing.
Yes.
Okay, bring him in slowly.
Shooting Universal is awesome because when I moved out here to California, I took the Universal Backlot Tour. You go on like a tram and you go through all the things. And I always said to myself, one day I'm going to be shooting back there. And now I am. So it's really cool because now I see the tram go by and I was like, I was sitting on that one day.
We're one of the only crews to ever shoot inside of facades. We're at New York Street on Universal Lot. And we're actually inside of one of the largest buildings called the Brownstone. What's unusual about this is that most of the time people shoot the exteriors here, and we are shooting the interiors. We're the only people to shoot a majority, 50% of their feature within these facades. So that's kind of Hollywood history.
It's a pretty ambitious project for the budget, for sure. So we've done one thing, I think, probably the biggest thing to try to solve that, try to fit it within the budget parameters that I tried to do was make interchangeable sets. The script had probably like 25 hallways in the first version that I read. We combined a lot of those hallways.
What are you doing right now?
I'm the dummy. I hear this is how David Mamet got started.
4 times the film count has ended on 666 while filming me. And I guess if you know me, it's not that weird at all. It's just kind of fitting. It goes 1 to 1,000, and on cut, when they cut the camera, it just has happened to stop on 666, 666 4 times, while on me, and me alone. So I think I'm creeping the crew out a little bit, and I think I'm creeping myself out a little bit, because the odds of that are really, that's out there. Like, how does that happen 4 times in a row? You'd think I was the bad guy or something.
The shoot's coming to an end very soon. And unfortunately, I'm gonna have to say goodbye to Patrick Renna.
You can no longer interview people.
Hi, let's take a look. You guys want to start on that?